Hi, welcome to Snow Better Lifestyle. If you are new here, my name is Donna. I turned 60 in March. I raised six kids, ages 27 to 39 years old, and I work full time for a tech company. And I started my health journey in November of 2023. I am celebrating 1 year since my doctor put me on Mounjaro. And as of last year, November 2023 to today, in total, I've lost 59 pounds. I lost 52 of those pounds from February to today. So, like in 9 months, I lost 52. I started on 2.5, which is what do they call that? What do they call that? A therapeutic dose. And I did lose 7 pounds from November, it's like the middle of November when I started taking it, to the end of January. So I did lose some weight, but it wasn't until I titrated up to 5 milligrams that I started to see a more dramatic result overall. And I'm not just talking about weight, but I'm talking about my A1C, because my A1C was 10 in November. It is now 5.8. But I started to see a dramatic uh, change in other things like my A1C, like my blood pressure, just in general, just a lot healthier than I was when I went in November. Um, let's see what else. What else? I don't want to forget. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so I started 5 milligrams in February. Let me look real quick. All right, so along with starting with titrating up to 5 milligrams, I started tracking my food in my Fitness Pal. And I am now on 188 days straight of tracking. Now, not everybody is going to be comfortable with that, but for me personally, it's one of the tools that I use to help me stay, within my calorie range and know what I'm eating and making sure I'm getting my protein and things like that. So I've done 188 days straight in my Fitness Pal. Do I put every single thing that I put in my mouth in the tracker? No, not necessarily. There are days when, like, maybe I'll grab a Clio on my way to bed and I won't remember to put it in my tracker, or I'll have something to eat that's really not consequential, and then I won't necessarily put it in. But I'm pretty good about that. And it works for me. Not everybody is comfortable with tracking, and it can be triggering because we've spent our life, those of us who have been overweight all of our lives pretty much, from the time I was 13, um, don't tend to like things like that, like having to track. But for me, it's worked. It's helped me to take off the 59 pounds that I've lost since last November. Um, so what's the other thing? Checky. Uh, yeah, 108 days of food tracking. And like I said, 52 pounds lost since Feb. And I didn't start tracking until I started 5 milligram. Before that, I was doing 2.5, and I wasn't really serious about it. That was the one thing, because I was going back through, because I want to talk to you guys about the ways that what I've learned over the last year about myself and about the meds and things like that. But I have realized that it didn't start to kick in until I started tracking and started paying more attention. I got on the scale at that point because I wasn't weighing. I weighed myself right before I went into the doctor in November, but I didn't weigh myself again until right before I started 5 milligrams. And when I started 5 milligrams, I was 304. And like I said, I'm 252 now. Um, I talked about my A1C. It was 10 in November, 6.2 in May, and 5.8 in September. My blood pressure with lisinopril has gone down amazingly. I used to go into the doctor's office and I would wind up being sent to emergency because my blood pressure was so high. And I had a friend this week who wound up in the hospital because their blood pressure is so high, it's been causing small strokes in their brain, and it's starting to do damage. So for me, that just kind of hit that hit home. I was like, I've been just letting my blood pressure be too high. And who knows how many brain cells I may have, ruined, damaged, because they're not having TIAs, they're having actual strokes. So to me, that just was another reminder why I am on Mounjaro, because blood pressure is one of the big health things that I've been dealing with for decades, for a long time. So who knows what I've done to my brain already, but I'm hoping that I can stop any issues if I happen to be dealing with the same thing, because a high blood pressure is not good. And Mounjaro helps with high blood pressure, and it'll help save because I'm 60. So, for a lot of us over that age, there's issues with brain shrinking, there's issues with TIA, which doesn't really leave damage, but it just leaves, you know, it just causes an issue at the moment, but it isn't, but if you're having small strokes, it leaves damage on your brain, and brain is shrinking, and so there's all kinds of issues that can come. It's also blood pressure, and it's your heart, so you have to pay a lot of attention to that. And so that's one of the reasons I'm grateful that we have on Manjaro and Wegovy, for that matter, to help manage that, because I actually took my blood pressure this morning and it was actually low, too low. So you have to watch that other end as well to make sure you're not too low blood pressure. But like I said, this friend of mine wound up in the hospital this weekend because he was having uh, small strokes. So need to pay attention to that. I also lost a couple dress sizes in the last year, and I went from like 26, 28, 4X, 5X to 2X, 3X, and a 22. So, it really depends on the brand, to be honest. There are some I can wear a 2X in, there's some I can't wear a 2X in. So I think over time it's going to, but I have lost, I don't need to reach. Usually when I would go shopping online, I would order a 4X or a 5X, a 26 or 28. I can now order a 22 or 24, or, a 2X, 3X, and I'm shooting for 20, a size 20, and a solid 2X, across the board. And then the other thing I'm shooting for is 250. I want to get to 250 and under, because it'll be the first time, like I said, in like 25 years, I've been under 250. So it's been really good. Some of the other things is that I can walk without back pain. So like I talked about in another video of mine, was that I was not unable to walk anywhere without having to sit every 5 to 10 minutes. I can now walk pretty good distances without any back pain. The only thing now is, kind of because I've been so out of shape for so long, I do have a little bit of soreness, I guess you call it, like in my knees and things like that. So I'm hoping as I get better, as I start working out, doing more exercise, that will become less of an issue. And as I lose more weight. So that's been a really good thing. Yeah, so I put down still some old lady aches. I still have some old lady aches, but I had severe back pain in my spine, at the bottom of my spine. And it was so excruciating that I was in tears. And I haven't had any of that for quite a while now. And that just makes me really happy. I can go. That's why you think, oh, she's just going to Walmart, or she's just going to Target, or she's just going to TJ Maxx. That's a huge deal for me, because I can walk through Walmart and Target and whatever and not have to look for someplace to sit down. Massive, massive for me. Because that really, I mean, how can you enjoy shopping if you got to go sit down every couple of minutes? So that's been a huge thing. I'm looking at my thing. Okay. The other thing I've learned, or I've realized in the last year, my portion sizes are, like we've talked about before, but my portion size is half. The other day I did order from like Red Robin, and they have this Whiskey River chicken wrap, right? And I had a bunch of calories left for the day. So I ordered the Whiskey River, and I was like, oh, I have plenty of calories. I could eat the whole wrap, just no problem. It's not going to take me over. It's not going to take me over my carbs for the day, etc. I still could only eat half. That is not like me, or it wasn't like me before I started taking Manjaro. And so now, I mean, the big thing for me has been just the reduction in size of my portions. I mean, I didn't order from DoorDash or whatever for a long, long time, but now I do it on occasion. And every single time I wind up cutting my food in half. If I order a full something, half, half. In fact, I've got half of my Whiskey River thing for me to eat later today. So the portion sizes are a huge change from last year. I was eating a lot more, so much more. Didn't eat the fries, gave a couple of fries to my dog. And yeah, so to me, that's actually huge. I mean, and you don't realize it until, you're actually sitting there going, wow, I could have eaten that whole thing and I didn't eat the whole thing. And, and like we've talked about, some people have talked about before, there's a stop. There's like, you don't want any more. And so you just stop eating. And I would eat to discomfort. And now it's like, okay, I'm satisfied. I'm satiated. I've had enough. Let's put this away and I'll have the rest of it later. So that was a huge difference from last year. I mean, I'm looking at it from now and last year before I started. And then the other thing, Mm, 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 mm. Oh, and like this last week, I had to go into the office. I went into the office. They had Dave's Barbecue, which is a barbecue place in our area, and I got some. They had pork and they had some beans and they had stuff like that. And somebody handed me a brownie, and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then I took it back to my desk. I stuck it in my laptop. I brought it home, and I threw it away. Would pre-Manjaro Donna have done that? No, I love sweets. I love cookies. I love brownies. I love anything. I just love sweets. I love ice cream. I still love all those things. But for some reason, I couldn't, I guess because I couldn't figure out how much stuff was actually, how many carbs, how many calories, how much sugar, plus I am diabetic. So, and I threw it away. And I would not have done that before. Feel somewhat guilty because I raised my kids not to throw food away, but at the same time, I was like, you threw a brownie away, So it's definitely been a change if I don't know for sure what's in something. But again, I'm trying to get a little bit better about just, okay, well, I don't know what's in it. So maybe I'll just have like a fourth of this item and, just count that as just extra and no big deal. So I need to learn to do that and not be so stringent about things. Let's see what else. Okay. I stopped a 2 liter a day diet cherry Coke habit. Now, diet cherry Coke, it's not a lot of calories. But the sugar that's in there, unfortunately, I can't handle, due to that being older, my bladder cannot handle aspartame. So I used to drink 2 liters as I would go in and get some ice. I had a big old cup and I would, I would either get the 24 count sodas and I would go through multiple cans in a day, or I would drink 2 liters. I now drink water, Propel with electrolytes, a cup of coffee in the morning. I still have my regular creamer. I'm drinking the peppermint mocha right now. And, so those are the things that I drink. I don't drink the diet anymore. And I think part of it's the craving Manjaro made it so I was addicted to it. I would say I was addicted to the Diet Cherry Coke, or I was addicted to diet soda, period. And I think that it really made a difference. Now, I will be upfront. Last week or two, I've had little bitty child cups of diet soda on occasion, but it hasn't driven me to go, oh, you know what? Next time I do an order, I think I'm going to order. So everybody's got their own thing, but one of the addictions that this Mounjaro has helped me with is, in fact, the diet cherry, the diet cokes, the things like that. I'll have them on occasion for enjoyment, but I don't have to have a 2-liter bottle every single day, and that's one of the things that it made a difference. What else? What is this? I can't read my writing. You guys want to read my writing? Oh, not so much. Halloween was going to be a little tough. I tend to, I'm terrible. I tend to turn my light off and kind of hide for Halloween these days, as I don't have any kids at home and no grandkids. And I don't like having candy in the house right now. Maybe at some point I'll be able to cope with it. It'll be a big test for me whether or not I can have candy in the house. But there was no candy or treats. But like I said, I love anything sweet. I am not a savory. I'm a sweet. I like the ice creams and the cakes and the cupcakes and little breakfast things you eat with your coffee and all that stuff. But I don't do that anymore. And I think part of that is the Manjaro and the cravings and stuff like that. Another thing, I'm gonna need to order office chairs for over 300 pounds. Um, my chair is fine for now, but I was looking, because I may get myself a little better chair. The last chair I got is kind of cheap because my 300-pound self broke my really expensive office chair last year. I had it for 6 years, so it wasn't like I just sat in it and it broke. But I sat in this chair that was made for a 300 plus person, and I broke it, and so I got a cheap one. But I'm looking for a better office chair because I sit in my chair all darn day. And I realized I don't have to look at 300 pounds plus. So that's like a huge thing. And a silly one, I fit in the salon chair. When I went to get my hair done last week, I was sitting there thinking, I mean, I fit in the salon chair before, but I can't wait. I would get like little, not bruises, but just felt kind of sore on the side. And you could tell they were kind of struggling when they were pushing on the little pump thing that makes the chair go up. And I was completely comfortable. And there were no issues with the side. So that's a big deal. Um, yeah, that was a big deal last week. So some downsides that I've had just from last year, and they're not major at all, is that I still have some minor GI issues right after I have my shot, and I'm tired. Like today, I'm tired, but some exhaustion in the first day. So yeah, um, and that's why I take it on Saturdays. I take my shot on Saturdays. So yesterday, I took my 35th shot. So 35 weeks on 5, 52 pounds down, which I feel is really good. Um, and usually the day before my shot day, I've mentioned this before, it's a little bit of jonesing. Like there's no hunger. There's just like looking for stuff, even though I'm not hungry. So, and one of the things that I've been reading, because I was looking around and trying to figure out, why, I don't need to titrate up, but, do I need to do that? Because right before I have my shot, I'm like looking for something and I'm not really hungry. And it's common because our medication is starting to wind down. So I might in the future do every 6 days instead of like do it Friday night or something, like when I'm starting to Jones and take my shot. So I don't, but it's going to, you know, 6 days instead of 7, but we'll see once I've gone down. All right. So what I've learned in the last year, everyone is different and will react to the medication differently. Um, I happen to react to 5 milligrams. I mean, it's my dose. Everybody's got a different dose that works for them. And like when had my conversation with my doctor a little over a week ago, she's like, we don't need to titrate up. I mean, if we move you up to 7.5, which is the therapeutic dose, you're going to have to go to 10. And she's like, you're doing fine at 5. You're losing the weight. Your A1C is under control. Your blood pressure is under control. We don't need to move up for me individually. For other people, it's going to be different. Your gut is different. Your experiences, your background is different. So that's something I learned this year because I kept thinking, I'm on 5 and so-and-so's over here on 10, or they're on, 12.5, or they're on 15. Shouldn't I be moving up to, and no, 5 is working for me. So don't feel like you have to go on that path of, okay, I'm on 2.5 and I'm at 5 and I got to do 7.5 and I got to do 10. No, listen to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but listen to your doctor and to your own gut instinct. The Yeah, yes, the some need to titrate up until they find their magic dose. 5 is my magic dose. For now, like I said, I'm not going to just assume that this is going to be it, because I am going to be on this med in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to be on a GLP-1 for the rest of my life. I have type 2 diabetes. I have high blood pressure. I have a lot of health things that this med is taking care of. But right now, I have the benefit of the weight loss on top of that, which should help to reduce how many meds. I mean, I'm hoping down the line in the next 6 months or so, I won't have to take lisinopril. I'm taking it right now to help keep my blood pressure down, but I'm taking Mounjaro's doing a good portion of keeping it down. I just need a little bit more meds. So my goal is to just have one med that I can take that'll control my blood pressure and my A1C, and manage the appetite suppressant and food noise, which I had no clue that I had this particular issue. And now it has changed the way I look at everything nowadays. I just always thought I was, a failing and failing. So, um, so also the fact that I'm doing fine on 5 milligrams is not a reflection on my counterpart who might need a higher dose. So again, listen to your doctor and trust your own instincts. I mean, you're going to see in all the different forums and all the different discussions that, I'm titrating up, I'm titrating up. That's probably what they need. Go with what your doctor tells you, and I mean, you can use some of the other people's information as like an overall guideline, but go with what your doctor tells you. Go. I mean, if moving up to 10 is making you miserable, ask to be moved back down. If I know there's a lot of things to worry about, the insurance and things like that, but at the same time, for me, 5 has been great. For someone else, 10 is fantastic. For someone else, they may need to move to 15. I mean, we don't know. All we can do is listen to what it's doing to our bodies. Um, Also, something to clarify: the medication is a tool. You still have to do the work. You have to change your um, portion sizes. Everything is in moderation. I'm sorry, I'm looking down so I can get through. Um, and everything is balanced. This medication helps with that balance, those cravings, and the ability to feel full or to feel satiated. That's what the medication does for me. It's something I was missing. All of us have been through a gazillion different diet plans, different things we've taken. I've mentioned this before. When I was in high school, Dexatrim was super popular. So we were all taking these pills, not knowing it was speed, taking these pills to try and manage and control um, whether we were hungry or not. I don't think it was our hunger. I forget what Dexatrim was for. I'll have to go back and look. But we would take Dexatrim, and that would help us to lose the weight. But little did we know that a lot of us had these GLP-1 deficiencies. And but we knew what we needed to do. You had to reduce your calorie count, how much calories you took in. You had to exercise more. You get told to do this. But the cravings and that we had, the food noise and the lack of satiety, us, eating and eating and not feeling full made a big difference. So you have to, this medication is a tool. You still have to do the work. You have to change your portion size. Everything is moderation and everything balanced. This medication helps with that balance, those cravings, that ability to feel full. Okay, so I read that already to you. Sorry, read it again. And so this last year has been a huge, huge life change for me. I still have a long way to go. I started at over 300, so I'm shooting for 250, and then I'm shooting for around 175 is my goal weight. But if I get to 200, then that would be fantastic. Um, but I had accepted that I would stay over 300 for the rest of my life because I'd failed so often. I am still the same inside as that jolly 300 plus pound woman. I always will be. But now I have hope and health and confidence. And I read that out to you because I wanted to make sure that I got that across. And one last thing. So I am starting year 2. And there's some things I really want to work on, and I'm going to list those off for you. And that is more exercise. I'm still not doing well with the exercise. I'm trying. I'm doing a lot more things. I'm going to the store. I'm going to the office. Since the weather is getting better, it's sweater weather. I'll probably go and do some more outside activities, walking around my neighborhood, that sort of thing. Um, Also, more veggies this year. I'm still struggling with that. I'm getting more. I've been buying the frozen ones and things like that. And I want to hit Wonderland this year. So I'm hopefully will be at not this year, 2025. I want to hit Wonderland. But I want to get to 250 before the end of 2024. So I've got like a month and a half, almost 2 months. And I want to do more clothing hauls. So as I get smaller, I guess I'm a lot more of a clothes horse than I thought I was. I thought I wasn't because I'd gotten so big that I couldn't, you know, there were no, the joy of clothes um, was lost. There's a lot of things that I lost as I got bigger, just being uncomfortable. I am extremely grateful. Excuse me, I gotta drink my water because I'm a little dry. I am extremely grateful for GLP-1s, for Mounjaro, for what I've learned over the last year. Tell me in the comments if you are also on a GLP-1 or a GIP, or if you're on Wegovy or Mounjaro or um, Zepbound, and let me know how you felt about it. If you're new to it or if you've been on it for years, let me know. I will see you guys next week, next Sunday. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And thank you very much.